depends on my son. There's a chance I might need to take 5 minutes or something to go up there and address something with him, but I don't think so. Let's just take a look at the chat really quick. It's really hard for me to get with the chat. And like I said, there's no music for this stream because I can't do it through my computer. This is going to be a lower quality stream than you guys are used to because my main production equipment, right here, my main production equipment is right here. Okay? That's what we're going to be updating right now. So let's get this in position. If I can, get this in position. Just tilt this right here a little bit. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way temporarily. This is the equipment. Oh, if you're interested in what we're actually going to be building with today, or what the gear is that we're going to be using today, the gear we're installing is all centered around this. This is the i7 8700K. The problem with this processor, the biggest problem with this processor is that it requires a brand new motherboard. You can't put this in old motherboards. Even though it has the 1151, like it's LGA 1151, but it requires, I think it's more power output. I think that's the reason why, but is the thing what it is. So how many bits for seeing original dog portrait? I'm unable to give you the dog portrait today because, again, this is not my main system. None of my normal settings, none of my browser sources, none of that special stuff is integrated into the Mac. So we're dealing with this MacBook. You guys saw the setup I have for the stream. This is the setup I have. This is the MacBook, which we're talking into right now. This line here runs all the way up to a Brio camera in the ceiling right there. That's all rigged into the ceiling, man. There's my wireless transmitter for the lavalier mic that you're hearing it from. There's the USB hub that I'm going to try very hard not to touch in any single way. We've got the C920 over here on an old LED light. That's how you're getting the camera 3. And then this camera here is being transmitted through a program it's by Canoni. It's software called Epoch Cam, or EPOC Cam. It's free to download for the Mac. It's free to download on the App Store. And I'm using that to wirelessly transmit my camera to my computer, and then I'm using the computer source that I see coming on the computer as a capture window, if you will, to show it into OBS. So that gives you a preview of all the different things we're doing today, if you're interested in how that's set up. So anyway, 8700K is what we're rocking there. And then the motherboard I've chosen for this, it wasn't that difficult of a choice, but it is the more expensive option. You don't have to get something that's this expensive, but the reason I did it had everything to do with its overclocking potential as well as the build quality of it. There's very high quality components in here. I chose the ROG Maximus 10 Hero as the motherboard today. And I think what I'll do is actually switch to camera 4. And I'll show it to you from here. There we go. Chose the Maximus 10 Hero today. And the Maximus 10 Hero, if I open it up, I really like the build quality of this motherboard. Very sturdy components. It's really nice. It has all the different requirements that I require except for one, but I can't do anything about that because that one requirement that I have is just not available with this chipset at all. It's just not available with any motherboard, so I didn't really have a choice. And that is support for plugging in my Thunderbolt RAID. I'm just going to have to basically have that Thunderbolt RAID being utilized with my Mac and editing with my Mac from now on that. And then, once Thunderbolt becomes maybe more common, I suppose, I don't know, I might be able to upgrade it with something that's different from later on. So the final thing, hold on, let me just read this. You're peaking the mic a bit. Am I? Okay, hang on. Okay, how's that? Am I peaking now? Is this better? This looks better to me. The levels I'm seeing here are better, so hopefully that's better. Sorry guys, this is like really unconventional. I'm gonna have to keep checking it constantly, but I may not be on top of it as much as usual just because of the way it's all set up. But hopefully this is better. Hopefully it's not peaking anymore. Better, okay, cool. Okay, so the final thing we're gonna install today is some new RAM because my current motherboard has 32 gigabytes, 4 cards at 8 gigabytes, quad channel memory. The memory is 2133 megahertz, and it's quad channel, DDR4, and it's pretty simple, pretty basic, from G-Skills. I got a sick, absolutely sick deal on this, and I had to grab it. I couldn't resist. I had to grab it. It seems expensive when you hear how much I paid for it, but I assure you it's a minimum $120 under the market price, or under the price. This is the Ripjaws 5. This is from G-Skills as well. I'm so far happy with G-Skills' quality and their performance and stuff. This RAM, this is 2 sticks instead of 4. It's dual channel. Each stick is 16 gigs, so we're still staying with 32 gigabytes of RAM because I need that for my production stuff. But this is 3200 megahertz instead of 2133. And in addition to that, it's also running at timings. If you're familiar with how RAM works, it's running at timings of 14, 14, 14, 34. So it's got this latency rating at 14, as opposed to the RAM I have now, which is 16. So this is going to be way faster, way faster. That's the summary. So the entire goal, right, 8700K, and that's the reason why I did it. So let's get my computer from over there, and we'll go ahead and get it over from this way. So I just got to pick this sucker up because it's really heavy, and I'm kind of worried about putting it down, because this is my pool table right here, so it's like I'm kind of worried about putting it down right side up because of how much it weighs. So I want to lay it flat first. So I'm going to get rid of this really quick and get rid of my screwdriver for a second. And how long have I been streaming? You can use the uptime command in the chat if you're ever wondering how long I've ever been live. You can always use !uptime, and it'll tell you how long I've been live at that point. Okay, so I think this is enough space. Let's go ahead and do it. Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy. All right, let's. Sorry about the mic if I bump it. My bad. All right, let's tip it down. Don't pull a Linus and drop it. That's the important thing. Don't pull a Linus and drop it. Okay. So computer's laying flat now. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to get access to the power supply. If I get access to the power supply, you can't hardly see me, can you? Okay, we'll use this camera. Maybe this is better. If I get access to the power supply, then I can use that to de-staticify myself, right? I don't have a static-free band or anything, so I don't have anything like that. But you can always use the power supply plugged into a power source and just touch it, and that will discharge you. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the casing here. Just kind of do that. So lift this off. This also gives me a good opportunity to clean it because it's a little bit dirty. Just to be frank about it, it's a bit on the dusty side. I haven't cleaned it in a little bit, so it might be embarrassing, but it's just the way it'll be. That's fine. Cool. Okay, I'm going to get my screwdriver. I'm going to need some of this stuff here. Let me take a look at chat really quick. How much eBay bucks has your wife gotten from this purchase? My wife gets none of this purchase, of this stuff purchase. I did recently purchase something else, and I recently ordered a new microphone. I've wanted there's this microphone. Okay, guys, there's this microphone. It's been the industry standard in radio for decades, right? It's always been, like, for decades, since I've been alive. It's been the industry standard for radio, at least in the United States. I think they have a different industry standard overseas in the UK and stuff, but in the United States, pretty much every radio station is going to have this mic, and I've wanted it for a long time. I finally bit the bullet, and I said, I gotta have it. It's time. I'm gonna do it. So I have an Electro Voice RE20 coming to the house as well. Very cool. I'm also going to have a nice, cool, a really awesome little Yamaha mixer that I'm going to use for my audio setup as well. And that's going to allow me to do a lot of really creative things, including using my laptop to send audio into the stream without having to stream it from my PC. So I'm going to try and incorporate my laptop a little bit into some of my live streams, just to kind of take the load off of the PC a little bit. But mostly it's just going to allow me to do some really interesting effects and stuff, so it'll be nice. And I won't have to run a compressor from the software to compress my microphone anymore. I can do it right within the board, which is kind of cool. Doofy, thank you for the bits, man. If you're just joining me, thanks for joining me. I don't see how many people are online. I don't see how many people are watching, and I'm not gonna bother with seeing it. But if you're watching, if you're just coming in, welcome, thank you. It's a very unorthodox stream compared to what I'm normally doing. So don't take this stream as being indicative of the quality you can expect from this channel. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna get started here. I am going to need to get all of this stuff disconnected from the motherboard. When I take the motherboard out, I need to take out the water cooling block as well. So the radiator has to come out, as well as like basically everything needs to come out of here. But I want to get access to this first, and that unfortunately requires me to get access to the back, which is like, I don't really want to set this up. I'm wondering if it's better to, it might be actually, you know what? I have an idea. This is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit weird. Just give me a second. I have an idea on how I might be able to make this work a little bit. If I go like this, so I have these sheets of acrylic. I wasn't going to use it for this purpose, but it actually might work for this purpose really well. I have these big sheets of acrylic, which go on the LED lights that are up here, right? I have LED lights that you can see behind me, right? The acrylic covers them. It's like a lens that covers those lights. But I haven't installed that one over there yet because I'm swapping out the fluorescent bulbs for LED bulbs in the basement. I haven't put this in yet, and so I'm going to use this and put the PC on top of this, and I'm hoping by doing that I can take like a lot of the weight of the PC, sort of spread it out over a wider surface area of the pool table so I don't like ruin the slate. So that's what I'm going to try to do right now. If I could maybe get a good place to put this down. There we go. All right, let's pick this up really quick. I picked this up. Oh, you're so heavy. Hello. Put you down on the floor here really quick. I don't know how heavy this thing is. I'd be interested to know how heavy that is. It's not so much heavy as it is like really nervous to carry it. It's like, oh yeah, because if you drop it, you might as well just end the stream. But that's the least of my problems. Ending the stream is the least of my problems. All right, so I'm gonna take this and then, do I just lay it like this with the pokey end up? I think the pokey end up is better than the non-pokey end up. So I should be able to just kind of do that. And then I can put the computer on top of this. Let me read the chat here really quick. I have to get into the chat here, hang on. I want to see the chat. I want to see the chat. Don't close on me. I want to see the chat. Okay. Built 3 computers, totally neglected to care about static discharge. You probably are a little bit lucky, but you just want to make sure that you're discharged, right? That's the thing. You just want to make sure that you're not putting any static. It's mostly for when you're installing the processor. You know, when you're installing the CPU, it's usually the part where it's the most important. But all right, I'm gonna take this stuff, put it back up here, and then take this stuff here. Come on now. Oh, come on now. There we go. And again, sorry if I bumped the mic. I'm gonna focus a lot more on the build than I am on whether or not I'm bumping my mic. I think you can probably understand that. All right, that's good. I can also move it around a little bit. That actually might end up scratching it, but it's the back panel. I'm not gonna see it much. That's kind of a weird, how would I do this and actually show you? Maybe I do it like this. Hold on, if I tilt this up, I go like this with it. There, now that should be like, I don't know how to do this and show you with the cameras. Maybe I can go like this with it. If I tilt this up a bit, like that, maybe that'll work. That looks like it works pretty well. What do you think? Let's see the chat. Pokey end, is that the technical term? Yeah, it is. That is exactly what it's called, the pokey end. Let's take this off. I need to get access to the back panel. Sorry if it's out of focus. Not entirely sure if I have a way to fix that right now. It is on autofocus, but maybe it'll focus on my hand if I do that. I don't know. Okay. We'll take this down like this. There we go. And again, if you're new here or if you're just joining, I'm not going to be quite as attentive. I'm going to try my damnedest, but I'm not going to be as attentive to the chat today because I have a whole bunch of stuff in front of me that I'm focusing on, and I want to get this done as reasonably timed as possible. So there's a good chance that I'm not going to be able to do that. Now I'm wondering if I can actually get my iPhone camera to be maybe over here. I wonder if I can get this to be stable and steady, and then I can show you guys this side. I'm trying to do this as sort of like an event, if you will, like really produce a video event, but it's a little bit difficult to do that when you have all these different things. But if I switch to this camera, whoops, that's not what I want to do. I want to do it this way. You can almost see what I'm doing. There's my cable management on my PC. Mostly the things run down. They're all kind of kept tight right here usually. There's a couple of, obviously some SATA cables that are running to 2 SSDs here, which is nice. We also have a regular drive bay here in the back. 23, I don't know what that means. Okay, so we're gonna go, okay, yeah, like that. So I think to get the motherboard off, I'm not concerned about that yet because I need to get to the power supply. I need to get the power supply out of there so I can start discharging myself really easily. Unless I just plug it in, and I can just usually case it really maybe. Or if I can just get it to where, because it's got this guard on it. My computer has this guard right here that like guards the power supply so like it doesn't like show. Because it's a full glass panel on the sides, so that's why. But if I just kind of, I don't know, my screwdriver is really noisy because it has other bits in the handle. It's a ratchet screwdriver, really cool. I can do a whole bunch of different things with it. I think I have the right size though already. Maybe I'll just put these over here so they don't make a whole lot of noise. It's probably a good idea. Okay, where do I start on this to get access to that? I really don't want to take all this shit out, but I think I'm gonna have to. Let's actually just pop this out if we can. If it lets me. Come on. Come on, now get out of there. There we go. Pop this out of the way. This one here is also sitting in there. We can pop this out of the way. I need to remember which one goes where, though. That's pretty important for boot order and load order and stuff. Let's actually just disconnect this so I don't have to deal with it. Set the SSD over there behind the computer, and then we'll get this one out, hopefully too. There we go. And we'll just disconnect the SATA cables here and here. There we go. Okay, check in with chat really quick. No, okay, so nobody's chatting. Good. Let's see. So I think. Let's see. How do I want to get access to that? Probably. I think I'm trying to remember. It's been 3 years since I built this, so I'm kind of trying to remember where things were. But I think it's held in by a screw that's over here, and then there's another one. Maybe it's just these two. No, because that's where the SSD mounts. You know what? Let's just leave it for now. Let's just leave it for now. Okay, so I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this card. This is my Thunderbolt card. Come on now. Actually, you know what? Let's just move this camera. I kind of like this. This little application that allows me to like move my iPhone around and show you things with the iPhone. I really like it. It's kind of nice. I can move cameras around whenever I want to. It's cool. Okay, so this cable here, this card right here, which I need to get out with these thumb screws. Ooh, you're gonna make me, aren't you? Oh, you are. You're gonna make me. Okay. That is to remove, right? No. Yeah, this is to remove. All right, go like this. There we go. Is that not the right one? No, it's totally the right one. All right, so this should just pull right out now. There you go. So this is a Thunderbolt card, right? A Thunderbolt 2 dual, right? This little card was like, I forget what it was, like $45, $50 when I bought it. But it was a huge discount. It was like half off. So I think retail, this thing's almost $100. But what it does is it allows you to use Apple's Thunderbolt technology, which is, they called it, you know, it's light speed or something. I don't remember what Intel's actual name is for it. Thunderbolt has become the accepted name for it. But basically, this allows me to use that with my PC. The problem with this, though, is that this thing is only really compatible with very select motherboards, and they don't make them anymore. So basically what's going to happen is this is now like for sale, which is unfortunate, but here's what it is. Let me see the comments here. Comments. I love chat. What case do you have? This is the Enthoo Lux. It's a black edition, which I think is the standard color. Maybe white was the standard color, but they come in 3 different colors, I think. There's like a black, like a more of a gray, and then there's like a white. And there's like 4 different Enthoos. But this is by Fantex. Excellent company. Highly recommend Fantex. It's been great. Their support was fantastic. When I first got this case, the first thing I did when I first got this case is I busted this door right here. That's the first thing I did, is I busted this door, because like I was trying to get into this stuff to like hook up the lighting system, because this button here changes the LED lights around the case. And I was trying to get in there, and I couldn't get in there very well. So I started to take the front panel off, which is what you're supposed to do, except this door was not fully closed when I tried to do it. It was actually tilted just a little bit out, and I didn't notice it. And I ended up clipping the side, and it just busted the whole door off. That was like the first thing I did with this case. I contacted Fantex like an hour after I had done that, because I was finishing up the build. I contacted them an hour after I had done that. Same day, they had a replacement door in the mail to me, and it was at my house within 48 hours. And I, like, no questions asked. They're like, oh, that's fine. Here you go. So I was like, oh shit, okay, Fantex for life, man. I don't know if that's exactly what I was thinking, but that's what I felt at the time. I was like, wow, that's really good. They didn't even ask, like, you know, how did you break it? They're just like, oh, that's unfortunate. Here's a new door. I mean, granted, in hindsight, that door probably cost them, you know, 20 cents, you know, maybe $1 total cost for the company to send it to me with shipping. But the impacts of that dollar, right, they carry over to the point where, you know, if I need fans, if I need cases in the future, I'm going to look at Fantex first to see if they have anything that they want. And that dollar is, you know, that dollar is going to be worth it. So set that Thunderbolt cable over there, I guess. Okay, back to this disassembly process. So next, I think I can probably take this out. I'm going to wait to take all these cables off the motherboard until I have the motherboard out, I think. It's probably way easier to do it that way. So now I think probably remove the graphics card. So let's get these cables out of here. Don't want to break them. I need them for later. Now this graphics card I'm not replacing. This is the GTX 1080. I'm not replacing that. No need to get a 1080 Ti. If you have a 1080, there's no need to get a 1080 Ti. But when they upgrade their cards to like whatever it's going to be, the 1280 or the 2080 or whatever they're going to call it next, when they upgrade that, I might actually, I might bite that. We'll see. Depends on like my situation at the time, I guess. I don't think I'll need it, honestly, because the 1080 is really capable for several more years. So I probably won't do that. But I'm kind of, people on the Discord know this already. I'm a bit impulsive. I'll see a cool idea, and I'll be like, I have to do that. I have to do that. And then I don't think it through necessarily before I do it. Not completely, anyway. Like I give it thought, but I don't like give it the full analysis that I should. So that's probably why I would. Is this connected? No, it's not connected. Oh, but it is kind of blocking it, so I'm going to take this one out too. There we go. That's better. All right, now I should be able to pull this right off the board, but in order to do that, I'm going to actually lay it down, lay the case down, because I don't want to tip it over or anything and have to deal with that. So if I, best place to grab you, I wonder. Oh, nope, this will work. This works. Okay. Move this. Hello. Moving furniture upstairs, I guess. That's what that sound was, if you heard it. I don't know how much this lavalier picks up my surroundings. I'm not sure how much it is. If you're just joining me, welcome. There's not going to be any music in the stream, so if you guys are like, oh man, I wish there was like a better aura about this place, well, play music on your own system then. How much is my PC? I think if you bought all the components at the time I built it, basically the story behind this, right? Let me get this laid down first, but let me get this laid down first. Let's move this out of the way. This would normally be a lot faster process, but wanting to do it as a live stream. Oh, I did break the acrylic just now. Yeah, I cracked the acrylic just now, but that's okay. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to use this acrylic anyway. It's not what I'm looking for, so I'm just going to use it for this. Okay, let's get this graphics card out. I should be able to just, so there's a switch, there's a catch in here, if you will, a little button to, there we go. That should be good. There we go. Yeah, baby. That's the money shot. I missed it. Just kidding, I didn't miss anything. But yeah, 1080 Ti. No, it's not. It's a 1080. Sorry. I wish it was a 1080 Ti, but it's a 1080. And graphics card. You guys have seen graphics cards before. It's fine. All right, let's come down here. All right, family's doing stuff upstairs. Not sure what it is. It's okay. I don't know how much of my surroundings that this microphone on my chest here is picking up, but hopefully it's just me. Might not be, but hopefully it is just me. All right, so this case cover here, I think needs this thumb screw. Is it just this thumb screw? Because I am going to want this off when I put the other motherboard in, because it does get in the way. Let's check in with chat really quick. I don't want to get too far behind because I have a very limited window of what I can actually see. So sleepy. Oh yeah, Joe, it's late for you, isn't it? Sorry about that, man. How much is my PC, right? I didn't answer that question. So if you had bought it all kind of new at the time, the computer was discounted, right? With the discounts I had, the computer cost me $3,200 to build. That is not including the extra monitor I bought. So with the extra 4K G-Sync monitor that I bought with it, it was a little over $4,000. But story behind that, right? I didn't just take $4,000 out of my pocket. I didn't have that kind of money. What happened was, all throughout film school and all throughout, this is definitely an IRL stream. All throughout film school and my first 2 or 3 years of my career with media production, I've been a Final Cut Pro editor. So like Final Cut Pro was my editing suite of choice, which as it was for a large percentage, if not the majority of others. Thing is, Final Cut Pro is only available on Macs. So I grew up, if you will, film industry-wise, as a Mac user, and a very avid Mac user. I had Macs all through college, and when Apple debuted the Retina iMac, the Retina 5K, the 5K version. Oh, there's another one in the back, isn't there? Oh, damn it, there is. Shit, I didn't know that. I wish I had. I'm gonna leave that screw there because that's holding my thing in. I need to get this. Oh, you guys can't see it anymore, can you? Of course you can't. I need to get this panel off. This panel's in, so I need to flip this over again. I can set this down lightly, but I don't want to set it down hard because that's when I start to ruin things. Also, my furnace probably should get shut off. I don't know. Anyway, so I had to get the Retina iMac, the 5K, right, is what I wanted. So I went ahead and I jumped in on it, and I maxed it out. I used my student, yes, I leveraged my student discount on the very last week that I was eligible to do that. So I leveraged my student discount, got a heavy discount, because if you've never bought a Mac before, and chances are most of you who are here have never bought a Mac before, or at least haven't bought one recently, they're fairly overpriced until you upgrade them. Once you do the factory upgrades, if you can leverage a discount like I did, you actually have a really good deal. What I mean by that is with a Retina iMac as a student discount, when I bought it, I got a $200 discount, which on a $3,800 machine, a $200 discount is not that big, but it's okay, right? But thing is, it's not a $3,800 machine. I think it was a $2,600 machine, I think is what it was, or $2,799 or something like that. Anyway, when I upgraded the hard drive to the 1 terabyte SSD, when I this is 5 years ago, all right? 1 terabyte SSD, pretty expensive 4 years ago. That plus the RAM upgrades, the graphics card upgrades, etc. All those upgrades, when you're a student and you're applying a student discount, you get the discount on the components you upgrade to. So you don't just get a $200 upgrade. That's on the base model. You also get $50 off this, $50 off that, $75 off that. And you start to compound those discounts to the point where you actually get a fairly decent deal out of it. So when I bought my Retina iMac, I bought it and it was $3,600. The total was $3,600, and I had 18 months no interest financing to do that. I ended up paying it off in 16 months. No, that's not accurate. I paid it off in 12 months. And the reason was because about a year after I did that, let me see if I can get this. I need to go around this way. About a year after I did that, I decided I wanted to build a PC. I've always had this thought in my head, like I wanted to build my own computer. I've always thought I wanted to build my own computer, but I never actually had the knowledge or the drive or really the motivation to do it, like a reason to do it, because I was just like, well, why build a PC? I can't use my Final Cut Pro. Do you think it's this? Is it this one, or is it? There's a screw in here I have to undo, and I don't remember which one it is. I want to say that it's, actually, it might just be clipped in. Maybe it's this one. Actually, I think it's this one. Yeah, I bet it's this one right here. Let's do this one. Here we go. Like that. I think that's going to do it. It's going to let me get in there, I think. Oh, come on now. This thing is so touchy. It doesn't cooperate. It's got to be something else hanging it up, right? It's got to be something else grabbing it. I just don't know what it is. Oh, maybe it's, oh, I bet it's this one right here. This one looks like it's, this one looks promising, guys. I bet it's this one. So anyway, I wanted to build my own PC, and I was like, Final Cut Pro's not on a PC. But then I got into gaming, right? I've been into gaming for a long time, but I was always a console guy. I've always been a console player, a console gamer, because it was cheaper, and I was like a college kid. PCs are expensive, man. But I finally decided, I'm gonna take the leap. Let's do this. And where the hell? Why aren't you coming out of there? You gotta come out. You got nothing else holding you, right? You gotta be kidding me. Is there another one? There's another one. Oh my God. Really? Yeah, there we go. There's another one here. I didn't know that. If only I could do like voice commands for cameras. Like if I could say camera 3 and it would just switch. That'd be cool. But it's not doing that. But I finally said, you know what? I want to get serious in the gaming thing, and I've actually kind of wanted to try Let's Plays for a bit. And I think maybe this Let's Play thing, I don't know if I'm going to be good at it, but I want to give it a shot at least, There we go. Get out of there. Oh, come on. You're free. You're free. Come on. Let go. There we go. Whew, that's dusty. Oh, you guys can't see that, can you? So my panel's out now. That's good. So I said, let's take the leap. Let's do it. And so I needed to sell my iMac. Now, the iMacs, if there's one thing about Apple stuff, you have to give them this. You have to admit this. And you can know of any reason you want about it, right, about why this is the case. But if you have to know this part at least. Their stuff retains its value very well. If nothing else, if you're going to say nothing else positive about Apple, the one thing you absolutely should admit is their stuff retains its value very well over years. And so I was able to sell my Retina iMac for $3,200. This is a year-old machine that was heavily worked. I was able to sell it for $400 less than I bought it for a year later. Very cool. So I took that $3,200 and I said, you know what? That's what I was able to get for the iMac. That's my budget for my PC, right? That's going to be my PC budget. So when I built this machine, again, I didn't count the monitor in there. I decided to get another monitor because I've always had a 2-monitor setup, and the iMac is a built-in monitor, right? It's a built-in 5K monitor, and so when I sold the iMac, I also lost a monitor too, which is why I say it's not that bad of a deal. So when I went ahead and I sold it, I had to buy another monitor. That wasn't factored into my budget cost. I did splurge a little bit there, but this machine was just under $3,200 with the components to build. So I was able to basically build this on a budget that was derived from the sale of another machine, which is nice. Doofy, thanks so much for this. Thanks for the sub, man. 4 months in a row on Twitch Prime. I love it, man. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Let me see if I can catch up with chat here. You're impulsive. I am impulsive. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Noob Dantis. Hopefully. Noob Dant DS. Hopefully that answers your question. I think it's probably a more thorough answer than you wanted, but yeah. And again, I have that because of I save up. I was media producer for a while. Media producers, when we're in work, when we have work, we make pretty good money. But it's not stable, right? You go months sometimes with no big projects, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, you get a whole bunch. And that's kind of what's happened for my November. You'll notice there's like no videos at all at Hot Tips. That's why. There you go, my November. But my busy season is basically like right before the holidays. Once Black Friday hits, you guys can barely see me, there it is. Once Black Friday hits, and like the 2 weeks or so after that, like leading up to Christmas, that's when things start to slow down because people have already gotten the work they needed from me for the holidays. Like they're done now. And then after Christmas, through like maybe like a week before Christmas and all the way to like January or February, I mean, there's like no business at all. Like everyone's already spent the money they want to spend by the end of the year for taxes, so there's like nothing there. Okay, anyway, so I took that out. So now, the reason why I did that, let's give you guys camera 3 again. The reason why I did that is so I can get, let's use this camera here. It's easier for me to point it where I want it. The reason why I did that, whoa, hello, is because of this, right? I want access to the power supply. This is the Corsair HX1000i. It's a 1,000 watt power supply. I went with 1,000 watt primarily because when I first built this PC, I was looking to do SLI. And I knew with the 980 Ti's matrix that I had, which is it was probably the best performing, actually, I don't think it's probably, I think it was kind of an undisputed champion. It was the best 980 Ti ever built. The Matrix Platinum was, from Asus. And I was planning on having 2 of them. The problem was they're so damn expensive. So I ended up not going SLI, but when I originally built this, I had in my mind that I was gonna do SLI, and I wanted the extra wattage so I didn't have to worry about power. Now I'm happy because this sucker here pulls a lot of juice. Like, people have overclocked this to pull almost 300 watts on its own. So I'm not gonna do that, but when I overclock this, it'll probably pull maybe half that much. So it's gonna be good. I have the power resources that I needed to kind of make it future-proof, and that's kind of why I did it. So now I wanna get this power supply out, and then I wanna hook it up to the power strip that I have behind the computer here so that I can touch this to destaticify myself, right? I wanna be able to discharge myself whenever I want. That came out bad. I want to be able to discharge myself whenever I want. Yeah, well, you know, America. There we go. Let's get this out of here. my power supply screws in. It doesn't just set in. I have it like secured. I'm not sure if it's really necessary to do that, but I'm doing it anyway. Now let's unplug all of these things. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Oh, come on now. There we go. All right. Modular power supplies, man. You have to have them. Like, if power supply you have is not modular, you don't know what you're missing. The ability to just do this right here, way cool. Like, in my opinion, way cool. As opposed to, like, you know, having all these things hanging out of it all the time. Like, what's the deal with that? Actually, it's fairly clean too. I keep my PC fairly clean. Like I said, I've had this for 3 years, and you can see it's actually in, I think anyway, it's not in bad condition. It's pretty clean, I think. Let's see, chat. Holy cow, man, 3 fans. I have more than 3 fans in this computer. So there's a fan here. Wait, can you see that? Yeah, this is the right camera. There is a fan here, right, which is pointing outwards, so that's expelling air out, right? You want your air pressure to be forcing air out of the machine all the time, not in. You do not want. I'm gonna mess off the top of my head. I don't remember positive or negative air pressure, but you want air pressure pushing air out of the machine at all times, not in. So this fan blows air out, and it's coming off the graphics card, which also has its own fans. So the graphics card itself has 3 fans, which is kind of cool. That's the Asus Strix Gaming Overclock Edition, which is what that is. Sorry about the mess. It's just kind of the setup that I was having. So this, now my liquid cooling block, my liquid cooler, this is the Corsair H100i, that has 2 fans as well, and that's pointing up again. No, sorry, I take that back. These fans, I think, are actually pointing in because I want to draw the cool air from outside into the machine. So these ones are actually blowing air in. So that's how this one works. I want to take the cool air outside the machine. I don't want to suck the warm air in the machine through the cooling block because then it won't cool the water very well, right? So this is going this way. Then I've got this fan here, which is also blowing air into the machine. Now you might think, well, I thought you just said you want air pressure that blows out, and I do. But the thing is, if I'm pushing a whole bunch of wind through here, and then also my power supply is also expelling air down to the floor, so underneath. I'm getting basically the circular, my airflow basically whooshes through here and out this way, and then whooshes in here, and then it gets sucked out this way. So my airflow is always moving through and getting out. And it's not obstructed, it's really nice. So I have the pressure that I need. I'm gonna read chat really quick just so I don't fall behind. I don't wanna fall too far behind on chat. Whew, it's warm down here, man. Let's see. That's Doofy's subscription. That's great. Extreme 9091. Nice build. Thanks. Appreciate it. It's only going to get better, man. At this 3200 C14 RAM. Very cool. Also have the ROG Maximus Hero we're going to put in. But this whole build is based around this little chip right here, 8700K. Now, I've looked at the batch number for this 8700K. You can always, when you get it, there's a batch number that's on the label. You can look up that batch number and you can see where it was built, what batch it's part of, all that stuff. And based on overclock tests that people have submitted, this batch is really good. It's a really good batch. So I'm really happy to have gotten one out of this batch. It was manufactured in Malaysia, but most of them are. So anyway, so there's that. So thanks. It's gonna get better. This camera swapping will be a pain in the butt for him. It is a little bit, but actually I'm kind of having fun. I'm really having fun with the camera swapping, I am. I just have to make sure that OBS is the active window all the time, and then I'll be fine. But yeah, I'm a media producer by trade, so like this is the kind of shit I do for a living, man. All right. So anyway, it's just this is not the equipment. I can't even see where the hell my camera is. This is not the equipment that I use on a regular basis. This is off a laptop. The problem with this stream and being a lower quality than I'm used to is that the machine I'm used to using is the subject of dissection. Also, you know what? Actually, I have this iPad right here. I'm wondering if I could open up Twitch chat on the iPad and then like see chat while I'm looking over there. That's something I should look into, actually. If I open up my Twitch client here, I should be able to go to like channels and like a search. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not logged into Twitch on my. I'm not logged into Twitch on my iPad, but oh look, ads. Great, I love ads. No, I don't want ads. Come on. I want to stop my stream. I don't want it to go, but I have to wait for this ad in order to stop. Oh, Twitch. Why do you do this? Why do you do this, Twitch? Why? Can I stop the stream? Can I stop it? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go chat only. There we go. Chat only. Perfect. Now I should be able to make it like, put it up like this, maybe? Maybe I can see the chat if I put it over here. That way I should be able to see it if I'm, so now if I'm right here, hopefully I can see it. I just want to make sure I can see it. So like there's my iPad over there now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that. It's pretty far away. I wish I could make the text bigger, but I don't think that's a setting I can do. Also, I wanted to do chat only. Yeah, chat only like that, and then white theme. Ugh, gross. Whatever, it's fine. If I can't see it, then I can't see it. It's not a big deal. All right, cool. Those are set up to push and pull. What are set up to push and pull? The fans are set up to push and pull. All right. So now the fun part, right? That's getting the motherboard out. I have to be careful with that because I have to take it out with the water cooling block. I guess I don't have to. I could just remove this block, but I'm gonna have to reinstall it on the new processor. The only thing I'm keeping on this board, well, I need to disconnect all the cables first. We can do that. We can take all these cables off, these headers and stuff. Disconnect all these. I have to remember where they all go. That's going to be a freaking chore, but I'm not going to stream that part. I'm just going to stream the hardware installation, not like the booting up, the wire connections and all that stuff. I'm not going to make you guys sit through all that stuff. Come on now. But I do have to disconnect them in order to get this motherboard out, so. There's some other SATA cable stuff here. So let's remove those. Got the fan headers. Some of these are really difficult to get out. Might have to lay this down in order to do this. Probably a good idea anyway to lay this down. Oh well. All right, come on. Come on, get out of there. All right, I'm gonna have to lay this down. So let's move this camera over here. Putin's here. Hi, Putin. How are you, man? Ooh, I don't want to do that. Whew, I almost ended the stream without wanting to. Involuntary ending of the stream just now, almost. Actually, you know what? Before I put this on its back, I should probably unscrew this part. Probably a good idea. So I think I'm going to do that. My camera set up for that. Let's see. Your radiator is irritating me now? Why? Why is the radiator irritating you? If you're wondering how cool my stuff runs, I have never seen my CPU above 65 degrees. Never seen it. At a Prime 95 load, I run it for 12 hours, 65 degrees. So as far as my fans running. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. Eclipse 6980, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. I know I'm probably really late on that, but not my typical live stream, not my typical ability to keep with the chat. If you're just joining, welcome. 4-camera setup today. Not my typical stream, but it is a fun experience nevertheless to rebuild my to upgrade my PC with you guys today. So thanks for joining me. Okay, I think probably I don't want to mess with this cable management honestly, but I think I'm going to have to because I'm going to need to know what cable goes where, and I think trying to deal with it in this mess is going to be a big deal. Oops, let's switch to this camera then. So we'll go like this, I guess, and then we'll just kind of loosey-goosey these, I guess. I don't really want to, but that's what it is. Let's disconnect this one too, just because. These are the lights, so those can stay. I think these cables can probably stay through the loop. But the motherboard is attached to the case via these two, I think. There's actually this, which is, I think that's just actually not, no. I'm trying to remember, it's been 3 years, like I said, since I put this in, so I'm trying to remember sort of, and this is, if you don't know me, this was actually my first PC I ever built, and I built it 3 years ago, so I'm kind of trying to like refresh myself on all these different things, but, oh, I want to see that. You talk about the cable stuff, hooking up all the wires and stuff, you want to see that? That's going to take forever. Why would you want to see that? I guess if you're still hanging out with me and I don't have to go, but I'm kind of, it's already 1 o'clock and I've, got other stuff to do I have to do today, so. Color of the table matches the floor. Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's a pool table, right? It's just got a cover over it, but it's a pool table, so yeah. The previous owners painted this floor. I didn't paint it, but the people who had this floor, had this house before I did, they painted it. And they chose green, which I always thought looked okay. I didn't think it looked that bad. But it is the same color. You're right about that. Let's get this side piece. Oops, that's the wrong camera, isn't it? There we go. Let's get this. I want to get these headers pulled out. But this is the power for. Yeah, this is the cables for the water cooling block, which I don't want to mess up. This goes out to here. Let's connect this one there. Yeah, there we go. All right, so if I want to pull this out of here, first off, I'm going to need, oh man, can't get these out. It's kind of really difficult to get those out, but I need them out in order to pull that. In order to pull this motherboard out, I need it to disconnect. This needs to disconnect as well, as does this. Oh, come on now. You want to see it all? Actually, the iPad is helping me see the comments while I'm over here. That's nice. I cannot get this detached. There it goes. I'm always concerned. Like, I'm always really worried about these little tiny cables, right? Because like they're so fragile. I feel like I'm gonna break them when I unplug them. But you just have to remember that they're kind of designed knowing that you'll have to pull on them if you want to take them out. I have no idea how I'm going to get those cables out. That's the main power for the motherboard, and that is in there really good. But I feel like it's easier to remove those cables now than it is to move them later. So I think these screws here are holding the motherboard in place. I think that's what these are doing. These are also what I mount my SSD to, but I'm thinking that this is probably where that mounts. I don't see anywhere else where it would be mounted to this, so I'm gonna assume that if I remove this, thing is, I'm not certain about that. This is a really tiny screw. There's no way this is holding that in. No, there's no way that's a thing. That's got to go back in. That does nothing other than hold that SSD in place. So, how is this being held in right now? I mean, it's not just these, right? Like, I It's not just these little things here, right? Is that all it is? I think it might be. Oh, okay. I see how it's working. Okay, never mind. I see it. So I can do it this way. Okay. And then go like this way. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and lay this back down again. Oh, there we go. Cool. Let me see chat really quick. I don't want to get behind or get too far behind here. I'm right in time for the good stuff. Yep. You have one fan on intake and one on exhaust. Yeah. Yeah, man. I do. Why is that a problem? I'm sucking the cool air in and I'm blowing the hot air out. I just happen to be doing it at the same time. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. That's the whole goal in its entirety. Cool air in, hot air out. All right, let's see if I can. Does this even work? Wonder if this will even do anything. Can you guys even see this? Kind of, but then like the camera's kind of in my way that way. Also, the iPhone is getting low on battery, so I might lose it if I don't plug it in. So I think I'm gonna have to plug this in and just kind of suck it up for the sake of. My iPad's only got 12%, but it's more important that my phone stay powered than my iPad. So let's plug this into power. We'll just kind of set this over here for now, so like you guys can see it. But I'm probably not going to use that camera for a bit, just to let it recharge. So okay, so we'll use the top down now because that's kind of cool. Or we can give you guys this view. Bam! What do you think of that? Actually, it's a little bit off. Let me just kind of adjust this really quick. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. I can see your face twice. Sorry about that. Once was enough, I know. Charlie, can you do me a favor? Show me your radiator for a sec. Yeah, there's one fan blowing in and one fan blowing out. Yeah. You need to put them both putting out or pushing out. Why would I want to push them out? I want the air blowing through the radiator. The air, it's a water cooling block, it's liquid cooling. The air, right? The air blowing through the radiator is what's cooling the water. Why would I want them pointing out? I'd be sucking out the hot air into the water and making the water warm. That's wrong, Charlie. It doesn't work like that, Charlie. Okay, well, like I said, first PC I ever built, but that's the rationality that I had in my head. Like, okay, cool, that's how it works, is what I was thinking. Ideally, you want more intake than out, so you get positive pressure inside the case. That's what I was saying. So I was pulling a whole bunch of air in, so I could suck, so it gets pushed out. You want more air. You want air pushing out, not air like. Total pressure-wise inside the case, you want more airflow. You want the airflow getting out of the case, not coming into the case. Use them by intakes or exhausts or both. I don't know what you're saying. I did intentionally do that. Yeah, I had a logical reason that I thought was logical, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, I guess. But okay, so you guys can help me when I put the new one in. How about that? And I'll test it. But like I said, this CPU has never been above 65 degrees. It's just never been there. It's always been. It's not the best overclocker in the world. Highest I've ever had it overclocked is 4.2 gigahertz, but it's a 6-core processor. So this is the i7 5930K. It's inside here, and I cannot. Uh-oh. Can I not? Uh-oh. I might need my dork light. Don't tease me, but I'm gonna have a dork light because. I have to kind of stand in my own light to do this. If you're not familiar with what a dork light is, basically, it turns you into like a little miner. This is a dork light. Puts light wherever you're looking. It's nice. Okay, so, but it makes you, you're a dork. So, but I can actually get a camera on these screws, which is what I want. I think this screwdriver is a bit too, here we go. So we'll move this, take this screw out. These are motherboard screws, if you will. There's a little bit of magnetism in this screwdriver, so it should help a little bit with that. If you guys seriously want me to like take apart my water cooling block, take apart my radiator, and switch the fans in my radiator, is that really necessary? So how does it work then? If that's not how it works, right? I thought, and again, this is my inexperience talking, right? I thought that the water that was cooling the CPU was being recooled, or at least, not really cooled per se, but like keeping the temp because of airflow going through the radiator, right? Radiator has airflow going through it, that's cooling down the water. That's what I thought was happening, but you guys are telling me that that's not how it works, which is fine. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm totally fine with being wrong. But I would like to know a logical explanation as to why I'm wrong. Particularly, I would like to know the specifics as to how that works so that I don't say it incorrectly in the future. Let's take this here, and I will look at the chat in a second. Try to keep your messages, if you're going to give me a long explanation on that stuff, try to keep your messages in one message as opposed to like doing a whole bunch of like little ones. Only because when I go to read the chat, you're just kind of pushing your own message down or pushing your own messages away, and I may not scroll up as much as I need to see the whole context of what you're saying. There it is right here. Now you guys can't really see very well, but to be fair, it's a multi-camera setup, and I did the best I could. And you guys can hear me consistently with this lavalier mic, which is really nice. This is the first time I've ever used a lavalier mic for a live stream. It's the first time I've ever used a lavalier mic with my MacBook. And that's actually a challenge. That was hard to do. The lavalier mic with a MacBook was a really difficult thing to do because you can't just plug it into your microphone port in your computer. It doesn't work that way. Sadly, it doesn't work that way. So you need a converter of some kind. One converter cable takes the 3-section prong that comes on your. I'm not going to touch it to show you, but you see your typical headphone jack in your headphones. You have 3 sections, right? It's divided by 2. There's two lines, I guess you could call it, dividing 3 sections for contact. But microphone ones have 4 sections for contact. So you need an adapter that takes a 3 to 4, and that's $10, and it's not in stock in any store, like hard store or like brick and mortar store, if you will. It's not in stock anywhere near me, so I couldn't get it in time to do this live stream. So what I did is I used the come on now, get out of there. Oh, I can't connect it. I don't really want to break this motherboard, so I would really like to sell this motherboard. So actually, I'm going to list all the components that I have today inside this computer. I'm going to list it for sale at a pretty decent price, I think. So that if anyone wants it, you guys can buy it if you want to. I thought about giving certain things away, but then I realized how valuable this stuff is, and it's like, dude, are you really gonna give that away? I don't see how that's going to when a company does giveaways, right? When a person does a giveaway, there is always something that they're planning to get out of it. There's always a motive behind doing that. It's not just because they're awesome. And my motive would be to be saying thank you and being awesome, but my motive would be awesome, but it would cost me hundreds of dollars to be awesome. This is not coming out. I don't know why that's not coming out, but my God, is it in there good. I need this cable out. This cable needs to get out. Come on. It is just so, there we go. Finally. God, get out of there. Same thing with you, man. Get the hell off of there. I can probably do you later, maybe. All right, is this still connected? I think it's still connected now because of the, the side panel here. Anyway, let me look at the chat really quick so I don't get too far behind. I'll turn this off really quick. Let me look at chat really quick. I'm trying to like periodically look at chat and like communicate with you guys periodically, but sometimes I get behind. Okay. So let me get in the way of this light. Might have better frame rates that way. We'll see. Let's see. Use them as both intakes or exhaust. That's the thing that's wrong. You create two currents next to each other that contradict each other, effectively canceling them out. Perfect! You guys are all like, where's the facepalm emoji when you need it? Let's see. Okay, so anyway, that raid though. There's a raid? I didn't see any raids, but then again, like if there's a raid, I'm sorry I didn't see it. If you're new here or you're not familiar with me, my name's Charlie. I normally do gaming. I normally do cool gaming streams, but today I'm rebuilding my PC, and so as a result of that, I can't really do any games until I rebuild this. The goal is to install this, the 8700K, into my computer. We're going to be installing the 8700K on the Maximus Hero Wi-Fi AC edition. I wanted the non-Wi-Fi version, but those are all sold out, most likely because nobody freaking wants the Wi-Fi version. But Newegg gave me a discount that price matched the non-Wi-Fi version. So I actually paid for the non-Wi-Fi version, but got the Wi-Fi version. So that's fine. And we're also going to be installing this RAM, which is really easy. This is dual channel RAM. I got a sick deal on this as well. This is G.Skills Ripjaws 5, DDR4, 3200 megahertz C14 RAM. Very, very expensive, but I got it for like 120 bucks off, so I bit the bullet and did it. Let's see. Rad, not raid. Oh, okay. Well, see, there you go. Whatever. Sorry. I can't see the chat very well either today because it's all on this tiny laptop screen. If you're not familiar with the setup that I'm using, dork light. My dork light. Hang on. If you're not familiar with the setup I'm using, let me just give you a quick tour. So you kind of know, like, how is he changing all these camera angles and all that stuff? Well, let me show you. So this is the camera you're seeing. Whoops, not yet. Almost, and now. Camera you're seeing now is my iPhone, right? Hi, my dork light. It's all being routed into this laptop here. And then there's this cable, which this camera here is camera 1. So when I switch to this camera, you see camera 1. My iPhone is on this little tiny tripod, so I can kind of like put it anywhere I want, which is kind of nice. Now this is routed, and of course each of these cameras are all hotkeyed in, so I can just switch to them whenever I want to. But this is routed all the way up to my Logitech Brio 4K webcam, which is kind of like sitting here in the ceiling, right? And looking down, which is going to give you this top-down view that you're seeing here, which is kind of nice. Then we have over here, again, hooked into this USB hub because I don't have the cable I was just talking about how to use a lavalier mic with a Mac. I don't have that cable, so what I've done is I've used my headphone jack to USB adapter, which is kind of hiding behind this. It's right there, right? So I'm using the USB port here to drive that, but unfortunately the MacBook does not have 3 USB ports. It only has 2. So I kind of have to share. As a result of that, my lavalier mic, you can see right here, right? On my hip back here, right? The lavalier mic is hooked into the same USB hub as the C920, which is here on a little old LED light. I have it mounted on here. And that camera angle that you see is this one here. Now, because it's being routed through that hub, there is a delay. So you can see them side by side here. If I use the split cam view, which is my 5th scene, the overhead view is a little bit ahead of the other view. And that's why it's through the USB hub. But I'm hoping that my microphone is not delayed, even though that's going through the hub too. Typically, audio doesn't take quite as much power as video. And by typically, I mean always. So I guess unless, of course, the video is really shit quality and the audio that you're seeing is like completely uncompressed. I guess in that situation, it would be the same. But Anyway, I'm going to let camera 4, aka my iPhone camera, I'm going to let that charge for a bit. So it's going to sit there. It's going to be on, but I'm not likely to use it. There it is behind there charging. So anyway, yeah. Lucas V309, thank you for the follow, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you get follows, guys. That's nice. I really appreciate you guys being here too. I know I can't interact with you quite as much as I normally do, but I really do appreciate you guys being here. Thanks. Where did you buy the 8700K? So it's so hard to get it, right? You just have to be quick. You have to be quick. This one I actually bit the bullet. I overpaid for it. I got it a steal, if you will, on eBay. Most of the eBay prices for this are way marked up, which because poachers, right? They buy them in bulk. And they basically make the supply zero in the store so that they can upcharge them. But I got lucky on a bid with this, and I managed to walk away with this for $450. It's overpriced, it's still higher than our MSRP, but it's not as extreme as it could have been. So I got that. And then the motherboard, I got it as a discount, and then I saved $120 on this RAM. So I kind of think it's all, you know, it's all equals out in the end, right? I think so. I'm going to justify it by saying that I equaled it out. One of these days, I will have the best PC gaming PC ever. Nope. I will always be ahead of you. Just kidding. Just kidding, man. Let me go scroll up a little bit in the chat to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Noptic's here. Hi, man. I want to say hi to people too. I miss saying hi to people. If you're lurking, totally fine. Don't feel pressure to chat, but especially today when I can't quite get to it. But I love your faces anyway. Now I'm going to put my dork light back on so I can get this motherboard out of this case because I need to do that. So let's do that. So let's see. I think probably this is almost out of here. I mean, it's basically just held in by. I think there's like there's one piece still holding this in. I just have to find it. It's kind of difficult to see inside, but I know there's another screw holding this in. Ah, there it is. Got it. This is the wrong screwdriver. I want the one that has a little bit of magnetism to it. Come on now. Come on, little screw. Don't be shy. Come on, little screw. Come on, little screw. Actually, can I get this cable out of my way? I don't think so. Actually, I think it's out now. Kind of, maybe. You really want to be gentle with motherboards, you know? But at the same time, I kind of need you to get out, so if you could kindly do that, that'd be swell. Am I missing something here? Is this held in like this? Or can I push it? Ah, there it is. Push it that way. Okay, good. So I could probably just lift this right out of here then, right? Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. Kind of. Oh, come on now. Why not? You're stuck somewhere. You're stuck back here. It's that screw that I was just trying to leave. Oh, the little screw that could. The little screw that could is. It can, and so it will. There you are. I got you out now. All right. I should be able to pick this right out. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now I have to discharge. So let me get the power supply plugged into power so that I can start discharging myself so I don't harm anything. And then, let me see. There's the chat. What's going on, chat? What's going on? Nice, I'm looking to build a new PC, wanted the 8700K, but since it's so rare to find at the moment, I'm going to go with the Ryzen. Oh, that's a terrible decision, man. Don't do that. Just wait 2 weeks, it'll be in stock. Pay attention to, like, the Ryzens, like, I'm not going to say they're bad. They're not bad, but you're really doing yourself a disservice going with AMD on a processor instead of one of these. Even if you were getting an i5 8600K, you're still getting far more bang for the buck. I know the AMDs are cheaper, but there's a reason they're cheaper. Intel's technology is just better, period. That's as objectively as I can say it. It's just better. I'm not an Intel fanboy by any means. I go towards what the best value is. And by and large, paying a little extra for this and waiting a little extra for one of these, you will not regret it. Think of your PC as a long-term approach. You will not regret it. Besides, if you're going to go with a Ryzen, you're going to have to get a new motherboard anyway. So don't think of it like, oh, I have to get a new motherboard with the 8700K. Chances are you're going to have to get a new motherboard anyway. I'm not certain which one you're going for, but the chances are you're going to have to go for it anyway. I think I'm going to hook my power supply up here. You guys can't see me right now, I know, but I'm going to try. I'm going to hook my power supply up over here on this desk. And then I can just kind of touch it and discharge myself whenever I need to go over there and do it. There is a risk that I become charged again as I walk over here, but if there is any buildup at all, I'll just make sure I pick my feet up, but I can just kind of reach over and touch it really quick and then continue on my way. So that's a thing. Let's see who else is here. Hi, Charles. Hi, Jake. How are you, man? Mother is watching on the TV with me. All right, well, I'll try not to say anything I wouldn't want my mother to hear then. Family silently judging, yeah. Extra $90, I figured the 1700 was a better idea. The extra $90, think of it this way. The extra $90 you spend today isn't going to matter to you at all a year from now. You're not going to care you spent an extra $90 on your processor a year from now. You'll care for the next couple of weeks. You'll be like, man, I really wish I had that $90. Maybe you'll feel a little bit of pain. But a year from now, you're not going to care. You're going to be like, what, 90 bucks? What is that? Over a year? That's nothing. And you're probably going to have one of these processors. If you go this route, you're going to have this. This is going to be future-proof for you for at least 3-4 years. Like, you're not going to need anything else. They might come up with better stuff, but you're going to be set with this. And 90 bucks isn't going to matter to you at all. Especially if you have to wait like 2 weeks to get it. It's not going to be a big deal. Can I send the PC part picker link for what? You can't put links in the Twitch chat. I'm an Intel fanboy, but rocking AMD at one. Is my opinion, of course, and it's not necessarily the most educated one, but I feel like going AMD on processors right now is a big mistake. What would I recommend for a cheap beginner PC? I'm not the right person to ask for that, sorry. Okay, I'm going to try my best to get this motherboard out of here, but it probably means I need to get the other thing out of here too. Poop. All right, well, we'll go try it anyway. So I need to remove this, I think. Move this way a little bit. I need to get my radiator out of here because this is attached, or I can just detach it right now, which I kind of like that idea better, actually. Just leave the radiator in and detach this. Because I'm gonna put the radiator in again, and you guys want me to flip the fans, and I get that, and I might, but there's no reason to remove the whole radiator to get the motherboard out. The only risk I have in that is not being able to get. The only risk I have in that is not being able to get the new motherboard in with the radiator already installed. That's a risk, but if that's a thing, then I have to remove it anyway. Then at most I'm neutral on my time spent and not down any time. I would have to done it anyway. So we're gonna have to remove this stuff, and I think I'm gonna leave this cable routed through here. You guys can't see it very well, I'm sorry, but my phone's charging still, so I won't do that. But let me look at the chat really quick. Chat. Oh, just high profit. Hi guys. For cheap beginner building PC, I don't know, man. I would say if you're going to be primarily gaming and you're not streaming, the most of your money should be spent on your graphics card. If you are going to be a streamer, you need to go. I really recommend considering strongly going with an i7. You're going to want that hyper-threading for sure. Not to say you need to get an 8700K, right? But you know, a 6700K is a fantastic CPU. And it's not necessarily out of date today. It's a pretty good CPU. You could also go with the 7000 series, but you're getting more pricey then. All right, let's take the water block off. We get to see how messy it is with my thermal paste. How did my thermal paste job do 3 years ago? 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago, actually. Yeah, 2 years sounds better. 2 years sounds more accurate, actually. When did I build this? You know, I have footage. I first tried to record this. When I built this PC, I actually tried to record it. And I hooked up my Canon 60D with my lavalier, right, which is a lot easier to record with a DSLR with the lavalier than it is on the Mac. But I hooked up the 60D and did all that stuff. And then I recorded it. And I did the same thing with my iPhone and the tripod and everything. I recorded most of the build. I stopped when I started having to do wires. And then once I had the wires and stuff kind of figured out and I was going to put the graphics card in, I just didn't bother to record that part. So I have most of my previous PC build, this one right here, I have most of that in footage with the older or younger looking Charlie, a little younger looking Charlie. But I just haven't bothered to do anything with it, but I still have the footage. So maybe people were interested in that, I don't know. But I had like I had it all, I even started the edit, but I just didn't bother to finish it because it wasn't worth it to me at the time, I guess. I had a really little following, and I was like, you know, this 50 hours I'm going to spend on this is not going to pay me nearly as much as 50 hours spent for clients, so let's do the client work instead. That's kind of where I went with that, my rationality. Let's go like this. So I'm removing the screws right now. And since Jake's just now joining me, maybe I should show him my setup so Mom can see my setup. My dad's probably not there. My dad's probably in the woods. It's hunting season after all. All right, hold on. Let's get this. But I think my dad would appreciate the MacGyvering I did to get this all to work. Yeah, I'm going to need to get this cable out of here. Let me put this to the... I don't want to get the thermal paste everywhere, so maybe I just kind of set this back where it was. Really quick. That's fine for now. Can I get this? Can I get these cables pulled through? Is that something I can do? This one's in. Can I get this one pulled through at all? There we go, right here. Get the other one pulled in. Let's disconnect it right here. Disconnect it. Oh, come on now. Why aren't you letting go? Let go. Let go, my ego. You guys remember those commercials? You have to be a little bit... There it goes. Okay, good. You have to have a little bit of age behind you. Got to have a little bit of life experience to remember Lego my ego, I think. Okay, I really want to show you guys how the thermal paste was spread on this because I think I did a pretty damn good job. But maybe not because I have no experience in this. So maybe you guys can tell me whether or not the thermal paste job was any good. I think I did all right. So let me get my camera back here. I want to show, because they're family, right? I want to show them my setup too. So this is camera one. It's my MacBook, right? If you're just joining also, this might be kind of an interesting thing. How's he getting all these different camera angles, right? So MacBook here, that's one. I'm going to switch to this. This is camera 4. It's my little iPhone. I have a little tripod, but I need it to like show you guys where I'm at. So it's all hooked up to the laptop because I don't have my normal streaming PC. All hooked up to the laptop. This cable here runs all the way up to the ceiling to my Brio 4K webcam. And that's how you're getting the overhead view like this. And then the camera 3 I have is going through the USB port into the hub, unfortunately, and then out to this LED light. And it's sort of just sitting there on the light pointing this way. And that's how you get camera 3. Because it's going through a hub, it's also a little bit delayed. And you can see that if I go to the dual camera view that I have for 2 and 3. And you can see it's a little bit delayed, but it's because it's going through a hub. So yeah, that's the quick setup I have for my family who's been at my house and knows what I'm working with here. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so let's go through. Let me put this camera down. I think I need it to charge a bit more. I want it to be nice for battery life, especially when it comes to install. But I did want to show you guys thermal paste job. So here is, right, this is my water cooling block, right? It's all right here. And then if I pick this up, that's the spread I had on the thermal paste right now, which I don't know if that's a good spread or not. It looks like it's got a few gaps in it, but that might just be because of the separation, right? I mean, I just separated these two things, so they might this might be how it happened. And then there's the CPU, and it's you know, it's okay. It's a decent spread. I like it. I didn't spread it. You'll see how I applied it. There's so many different people that'll tell you so many different things regarding like how you're supposed to spread thermal paste. So many people are going to tell you that. And like, I find that ultimately many of the methods to do it are kind of result in the same outcome. And I think that's why people are so adamant about how that works. But anyway, so what I need to do now, since I have this block out, I'm going to clean this, and then I'm going to just set this aside. I'm going to set this motherboard aside. I will clean the CPU and everything because I am planning to sell it. But for now, it's not vital that I do that. So I do need to clean the water cooling block though, because that's going back onto this motherboard here. So to clean that, I don't have the rag. Should I go get a towel? I kind of think I need one of those towels. I wonder if there's any down here. Let me go see if I have one down here already, or I might have to go upstairs for that. Oh, and if you're wondering, the reason why you guys can still hear me even though I'm so far away, I think you can anyway. I'm pretty far away right now. But the reason you can hear me is because of the lavalier mic that's on my chest. So I have a little lavalier mic on my shirt. I think that I have to go upstairs to find a towel for this. So I will go upstairs really quick. I think it's probably a good time to take a break anyway. There's no music in the stream, as you guys know. There's no music in the stream, and that's because my Mac is just not going to accept multiple audio sources. I have no idea why. Normally it does, but for some reason, the way I have it set up right now, it's just not, it's saying disabled for that, so I'm not able to do that. So let's take a quick break, maybe 5 minutes or so, kind of stretch our legs. I'm stretching my legs already anyway, but take a quick break, and I'll come back in like, say, 5 minutes. So let's say we could take a little bit longer. I can get some water and stuff. So how about 1:50 p.m. Eastern time? That's about 7 minutes from now. So I'll be back around 1:50, and we'll go from there, and I'll have it all set up to clean this stuff. So thanks for watching so far, guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll see you guys in about 7 minutes. Bye.